very set on speaking the truth regardless of the consequences, okay? And that's very important right now because we live in an era of deception right now. And we have to back the people who are actually willing to speak the truth. So I want to talk about something here that I was thinking about, and I think about this all the time, and I don't think people think about this, but the day that Jesus was crucified, I think about all the time about how lonely that must have been for him that day. Because if you think about the love that Jesus has for us and all of us, that love is so big that it's almost hard for us to comprehend. But he had so much love for us, even the people nailing him into the cross, he had so much love for. And think about how much that would hurt and how lonely that walk must have been. When he came into Jerusalem, these people were worshiping him. When he came in, they were putting down branches. They had kids singing songs. There were people praising him for what he did. And that was because there was no persecution at that moment in time. Okay? Persecution can be very lonely, guys. And at that moment in time, people were speaking the truth because there was no consequences. It was easy to worship, to praise Jesus in that moment in time because everyone else was doing it. But then you fast forward to when he was carrying that cross, no one was there speaking the truth. No one was there praising him because they're afraid of the consequences. Jesus' own disciples, I want you to think about these guys, the things that they saw. Think about the things that they saw. The fact that they were to be able to heal people, to see people rise people from the dead, right? Peter walking on water, all that stuff. They're there with that honor to walk with Jesus in the flesh. Think about that. And what they all do? They all ran when they came, except for Peter. They all ran when they came to arrest Jesus. Okay? Peter, in my opinion, probably one of those courageous disciples and stubborn. Okay? Even he himself, this guy literally walked on water. Okay? When he was focusing on Jesus, he was able to walk on water until he focused on the storm. Then he started to drown. I want you to think about that. If you actually had that ability to walk on water, okay, but yet he still denied Jesus. He denied that he even knew Jesus 3 times. And in Luke, it talks about the different gospels, different things, but in Luke, it talks about when Peter denied him the 3rd time and the rooster crowed, it says that Jesus looked over his shoulder to look at him. And I want you to think about how much that must have hurt Jesus, right? That's his brother. These guys went all over the place, right? And the reason why these people do that, the reason why the disciples ran, the reason why Peter lied, okay, didn't speak the truth, okay, the reason why all those people that were praising Jesus when he came into Jerusalem, the reason why none of those people were there was because of self-preservation. And that's it. It's self-preservation. We have, in politics, okay, we have too many people of self-preservation. Conservatives, what do you want to call it, Republicans, they've been so afraid of the mob that the mob has been absolutely just devouring us and destroying us. Because we changed the words that we use, we changed the way that we speak, we alter the things that who we associate with because we're afraid of the mob, because of self-preservation. We have so many Republicans that I've personally met, okay, that are nothing but politicians. And they're too afraid of what people will think. They're too afraid of winning elections, okay? But the thing is winning an election is not going to change this country, okay? Speaking the truth will. Speaking the truth and being unafraid and unapologetic. You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
I appreciate when I sat down with Joe and I talked to him, he had made maybe a promise, but I believe that he's not going to virtue signal. Okay? He's not going to virtue signal. He's tired of it. He's tired of people being afraid to speak the truth. And he looked in my eyes and said he's going to speak the truth. And I believe in it. And I appreciate that, Joe. I believe in it. And it's exactly what we need in this country here today. Do you guys agree with that? We need true speakers. 100% true speakers. It's more than just going over to D.C. and to vote. We need people who are willing to stand against the mob. And the mob is not just, when I say mob, maybe people think Antifa or other things. I'm talking about the mob is the crowd. And it can be all kinds of things. It can be Republicans. It can be Democrats. It can be a bunch of people sitting at their computer commenting, right? Like people literally alter their behavior based off of comments they get on social media. How crazy is that? If you back up for a second, think about how crazy that is. People are so afraid of the mob. Pilate, you guys know Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate tried so hard to get the mob to not crucify Jesus. But he had the power. It was in his hands. Pontius Pilate. He tried so hard to convince them to not crucify Jesus, okay? But the crowd kept yelling, crucify him, crucify him. And because of self-preservation, he said, fine, go, crucify him. Tried to wash his hands clean, okay? This is something that a good friend of mine sent me. You guys can't see the picture. I'm holding up anyways. But anyways, this is a picture, and I apologize if I say his name wrong. It's Saint Telemachus, okay? Does anyone know who he is? I saw this picture, a guy who I consider a mentor, someone who I love very much, okay? He sent me this, and I'm going to read what he wrote on the back. Saint Telemachus was a monk who tried to stop Mortal Kombat in the Colosseum. He entered the stadium, games in progress, went into the arena, and attempted to separate the combatants. The spectators, at the instigation of Satan, stoned him to death, okay? But his death caused Emperor, I think it's Honorius, to abolish gladiatorial contests. It says, Joey, what we accomplish for the Lord will be in proportions to what we were willing to sacrifice. That meant so much to me when he sent that to me. Great change does not come from conforming, guys. Great change does not come from self-preservation. Great change comes from truly doing what you believe in, regardless of the consequences. Do you guys agree with that? Conforming, to continue to conform to our culture and our society will be the destruction of this country. That's why we're going in this direction, because we don't have enough people that are courageous enough to say that what's happening all around us every single day, it's not normal. Even though everyone's doing it, it's not normal and it's not okay. Okay? We need more people that are willing to do that, because every single person that speaks the truth, this is what I believe in my heart. The attack on God right now isn't openly attacking God out in the open. It's an attack on the truth. Because God does equal truth. That's why they're trying to tell you that 2 + 2 does not equal 4. That's why they're trying to tell you that math is racist. They're trying to tell, I can go on forever about all these things, but they're trying to do this nonstop to twist reality, because when you twist reality and you twist the truth, you're not in the same realm as God. You can't break into the heaven realm in these lies. I want to tell you something that God's been telling me, and I believe that persecution is coming. I believe that it's coming, okay? And the reason why it's pretty obvious that it's coming, because it's already here in little ways. It's under the guise of political persecution. And we've already accepted it as a country. If you look at, we've accepted the fact that these multi-billion-dollar companies are going to censor people based off of the political ideology. We've already accepted that, right? They've already gone in that direction. They've already accepted the fact that they'll allow people to burn down buildings as long as it's under the guise of Black Lives Matters or whatever, or communism, whatever it may be. But they want to throw other people in prison and throw away the keys for simply trespassing in a public building, okay? That's political persecution. And it's going to get worse, guys. And I think that one of the examples I want to give here real quick is that it's very easy to get rich if you want to be on the left, okay? Do you guys know that? Do you guys understand that? I joke around about this all the time. Persecution isn't just about punishing people. It's about rewarding people who do certain things. I'm telling you, if I wanted to go out and be a BLM leader, I would be a multi-trillion-dollar person. I would be so rich right now. I'd have 1 million views on social media. They would reward me with everything. You guys see that one BLM leader? She has like 4 houses now. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And she's a Marxist, right? Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Trump's photographer, who I met, I had a pleasure to meet him. The day before the election in 2016, he put out a post saying that he endorses Trump because he saw Trump behind the scenes, right? They completely destroyed his business after that. They came to him. I talked to him about this. They came to him and they offered him a huge book deal if he would come out and say bad things about Trump, right? This is what I'm saying, is this is where we're coming to in our country, and it's going to get worse and worse to where you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to make a choice, because to do what is right, to speak the truth like Joe's going to be doing, it's going to get harder and harder, okay? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I want to finish off with this. about the political persecution. It's not political, it's just a guise. The reason why they went after Trump is not because of political persecution. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that Trump was against human trafficking and he was shutting it down. That he didn't stand for the pedophilia. The fact that Trump stopped having wars all over the world, okay, which I'm sure Joe will talk about, okay. That's why that he was being attacked, and that's why he was being persecuted. It's not because of anything political other than the fact that the man was trying to do what he believed in his heart. And I don't worship Trump, and there's a lot of things that he did that I don't necessarily agree with, but I believe that he fought hard for this country as much as he possibly can. Do you guys agree? I'm still mad about all the money that he spent, but spiritually I don't think it matters. And I appreciate the fact that Joe's doing his campaign as America first. We got it. Listen, this ship is sinking, guys. This ship is sinking. We can't save other countries if we can't even save our own country first. We got to take care of our country. We got tons of veterans that need to be taken care of, okay? And so I appreciate that Joe's willing to stand up for the America first ideology because it's what we need right now in this country. Okay, and I'll finish off with this. Moving forward, guys, and this is pretty much what I finish every speech with, okay? Man, it's hot in here. Okay? Whew. This is very important, okay? And this is the biggest way that I've been changing, okay? I've learned to humble myself, and I've learned to understand that I don't really understand how to truly change this country, how to change my community, but I know that God does. I know that God does. And it's a huge weight off of my shoulders. And what I've been trying to do is take my priorities and twist them or turn them so that I do God's will instead of my own will, okay? Where I be more concerned about what God thinks than what other people think. It's such a huge thing. It's taking your ego, it's getting rid of it. Get rid of it and just, what I want to do is I just want to follow Jesus and I just want Him to guide me to go around to do things and to be able to truly fight for this community. And if you do that, if you focus on doing God's will, and this is the biggest thing that's really helped me, is that there is no amount of persecution. There's nothing that they can do to me. I don't care how many times they want to slander me, how many more lawsuits, whatever. Throw me in jail. It doesn't matter. Right here inside, my faith stays with God, and I will never sell out, ever. I will never sell out, and I'll always try to do what is right and what I believe in. And that's how we move forward in this country. That's how we stand up against the mob. That's how we stand up against the lies. Right there is focusing on doing God's will. Guys, thank you so much, and God bless each and every single one of you.